I was finished with dating apps, which is how one ends up bargaining with the universe like a raccoon in a tuxedo. So I hired Madame Dora, a divine oracle with silver rings, severe eyeliner, and the calm expression of someone who had definitely seen 3 empires fall and still wanted payment in cash. She informed me that my love life would now be guided by destiny, which sounded romantic until she clarified that destiny had a group chat and was extremely petty. 3 hopeful dates arrived, each smelling faintly of cologne and poor decisions. Ben called himself a vibe curator, which I assumed meant unemployed with confidence. Alex announced that pineapple on pizza was a sacred principle. Leo, who looked like he alphabetized his emotions, claimed he could name every pasta shape ever invented. Madame Dora began the first trial, which she called the offering. She commanded them to present a tribute to the goddess of love using only items in the room. Ben built a shrine from throw pillows and a candle, then bowed like he had just won a small religious grant. Alex offered half a bag of chips and gave a speech about sacrifice that lasted longer than the chips themselves. Leo produced a single strand of spaghetti from his pocket, held it aloft with the solemnity of a tiny Olympic torch, and whispered that carbs were eternal. I hated how impressed I was. The second trial was the reenactment of shame. The oracle spread her hands and said, "Tell us your deepest embarrassment and make it theatrical." Ben confessed he once called his 3rd grade teacher mom, and then spent the next decade avoiding eye contact with authority figures. Alex performed a full-body death scene after slipping on a banana peel, complete with windmilling arms and a final breath of betrayal. Leo admitted he had once waved at someone who was actually waving at the person behind him, and everyone in the room nodded because that kind of pain is universal and unpaid. Madame Dora then entered her trance of deliberation. She closed her eyes, clutched her crystals, and swayed gently while murmuring to powers I assumed were either cosmic or digestive. The silence was so dramatic I could hear my own expectations dying. Then her eyes snapped open. "The signs have aligned," she declared. "The spaghetti strand has spoken. Leo is chosen." So I went on a date with Leo, which turned out to be exactly as strange as being selected by pasta implied. Over coffee, he spent 10 minutes explaining the emotional difference between fusilli and rotini. He said one twists with purpose while the other merely turns in circles, which felt uncomfortably personal. At one point, he stared into my latte foam and said it looked like lasagna, meaning I had a layered and cheesy soul. I wrote that down only because my life had clearly become a myth and I wanted receipts. Was he my soulmate? No. Was he a walking tribute to highly organized nonsense? Absolutely. But the evening was fun in a way algorithms